From the New Testament. Today we're reading John 7, 1 through 31. This is what it says. After this, Jesus traveled throughout Galilee. He stayed out of Judea because the Jewish leaders wanted to kill him. Now, the Jewish Feast of Tabernacles was near. So Jesus' brothers advised him, "Leave here and go to Judea so your disciples may see your miracles that you are performing. For no one who seeks to make a reputation for himself does anything in secret. If you are doing these things, show yourself to the world," for not even his own brothers believed in him. So Jesus replied, "My time has not yet arrived, but you are ready at any opportunity. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I am testified about it that its deeds are evil. You go up to the feast yourselves. I am not going up to this feast because my time has not yet fully arrived." When he had said this, he remained in Galilee. But when his brothers had gone up to the feast, then Jesus himself also went up, but not openly, but in secret. So the Jewish leaders were looking for him at the feast, asking, "Where is he?" There was also a lot of grumbling about him among the crowd. Some were saying, "He is a good man," but others, "He deceives the common people." However, no one spoke openly about him for fear of the Jewish leaders. When the feast was half over, Jesus went up to the temple courts and began to teach. Then the Jewish leaders were astonished and said, "How does this man know so much when he had no formal instruction?" So Jesus replied, "My teaching is not from me, but from the one who sent me. If anyone wants to do God's will, he will know about my teaching, whether it is from God or whether I speak from my own authority. The person who speaks on his own authority desires to receive honor for himself. The one who desires to honor the one who desires the honor of the one who sent him is a man of integrity, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Hasn't Moses given you the law? Yet not one of you keeps the law. Why do you want to kill me?" The crowds answered, "You are possessed by a demon. Who is trying to kill you?" Jesus replied, "I performed one miracle, and you are all amazed. However, because Moses gave you the practice of circumcision, not that it came from Moses, but from your forefathers, you circumcise a male child on the Sabbath. But if a male child is circumcised on the Sabbath, so that the law of Moses is not broken, why are you angry with me because I made a man completely well on the Sabbath? Do not judge according to external appearances, but judge with proper judgment." Then some of the residents of Jerusalem began to say, "Isn't this the man they are trying to kill? Yet he is speaking publicly, and they are saying nothing about him. Do the rulers really know that this man is the Christ? But we know where this man comes from. Whenever the Christ comes, no one will know where he comes from." Then Jesus, while teaching in the temple courts, cried out, "You both know me and know where I come from. And I have not come of my own initiative, but the one who sent me is true. You do not know him, but I know him because I have come from him and he has sent me." So they tried to seize Jesus, but no one laid a hand on him because his time had not come. Yet many of the crowd believed in him and said, whenever the Christ comes, he won't perform more miraculous signs than this man did, will he? A couple of things here that I think tie together in this passage. The idea that Jesus' brothers tell him, "Well, if you're really the real deal, you need to make a name for yourself. So go to Judea and do miracles in that area so people can really know." And they say, "For no one who seeks to make a reputation for himself does anything in secret." Okay? And I think that's important because it tells us how the world works. If you want to get fame and fortune, you make sure you do stuff where people can see it. And that actually ties in when Jesus is speaking. He talks about the person who speaks on his own authority desires to receive honor for himself. Essentially, Jesus is saying, I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy who wants to make a name for himself and so does everything where only people can see it. But Jesus says the person, for the one who desires the honor of the one who has sent him, this is a man of integrity. Essentially, Jesus is saying, I'm a man of integrity. I'm not this other thing. You know, I remember when I was in college, one of the Bible studies I was part of as a freshman, we went through a book called Character, Who You Are When No One's Looking. And the idea behind that book is you can be all sorts of people when people are looking at you, but you are the real you when no one else is looking. When you don't have anyone to perform for, when you have no reason to put up an act. And Jesus really is saying to his brothers, I'm not a performer. I'm not someone who's there to put up an act. And he's telling the people, I'm not about those things. Essentially, the kingdom isn't about those things, is what Jesus would say. And then he goes on to talk about how people were upset at him. And he performed a miracle. And they were amazed at it, but he performed a miracle then on the Sabbath. He healed someone, brought them back to wholeness. But it was on the Sabbath, so it was work. And so Jesus calls them out on kind of their hypocritical thinking that, okay, I did the wrong thing because I healed someone, but you guys, Moses gave you circumcision, which there's some irony, Jesus comparing his miracle and circumcision. I'm pretty sure Jesus' miracle beats everything out there. But that idea that he is not supposed to do miracles and heal people on the Sabbath, but in order to make sure you don't break the law of Moses, you have to circumcise a male child on the 8th day. So if that falls on the Sabbath, then you do it then. And so Jesus is saying, okay, one of these is actually more important than the other. Healing and wholeness is, you're saying that is breaking the law by bringing that back. But really, if you understood the law, that's fulfilling it. And so Jesus tells them, don't judge according to external appearances. Essentially, the surface stuff that, it's a Sabbath, you did something, that was a miracle, that's work, you broke the law. Really what Jesus said, really judge with proper judgment. Essentially, think things through. And really, the idea is Jesus brought back wholeness and essentially liberated someone from something that had been oppressing them, preventing them from living the life God had intended them. And through the power of God, because Jesus is God himself, that man was healed. That's a miracle, and that's not in the same realm of work. It's not something that breaks the Sabbath, but really it gives that man a Sabbath for the first time ever, because now he's able to work, but he's going to have a day rest. And so Jesus fulfilled the law. I think a lot of times we can fall into the trap of majoring in the minors, and we miss out on the big important things. We need to pray that God would help us to judge with proper judgment. Essentially, look at things from the whole story and pray that God would guide us in how we are to do just the next right thing. Hope you guys are doing well.